Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to break down two really important ideas in information technology, or IT. We'll be talking about operating systems and networking, and we're going to use simple, clear English so everything is super easy to follow. Okay, let's start with a question. When you use your computer, have you ever wondered what's really in charge? Who's the boss that tells everything else what to do? Just think about that for a second. Well, if you were thinking it's the operating system, you are absolutely right. The boss of your computer is something called the operating system. So let's dive in and take a closer look at what that actually means. The operating system, or OS for short, is really the main, most important program on any computer. You can think of it just like a boss at a company. It manages everything. It's the one that tells all the computer parts and all the software how to work together. Yeah, I bet you've seen these before. These are the most common operating systems out there. You've got Windows from Microsoft, which is on most PCs. Then there's Mac OS, which is the operating system for all of Apple's computers. And then you have Linux, a really powerful system that's a big favorite for developers and for the servers that run the internet. And you know what's cool is that these same kinds of operating systems work on different types of computers. It doesn't matter if it's a desktop computer that sits in one place like an office or a laptop that you can carry around with you. And the OS isn't just the boss of those big computers. Nope, it's also in charge of the smaller devices that you probably use every single day. Your tablet, your smartphone. Each one has its very own operating system that makes it work. Okay, so let's recap for a second. An operating system manages a single computer. But what happens when we want different computers to talk to each other? Well, that's where networking comes into the picture. When we connect a bunch of computers together so they can share things like information and files, we create what's called a network. Think of an office where people need to share documents and use the same printer. A network makes all of that possible and helps people work together. So how does information find its way across this network? Well, that's the job of a device called a router. You can think of it kind of like a traffic director for your data. It makes sure your email goes to the right person or your web browser connects to the right website. Of course, when you've got all these computers talking to each other, you have to think about safety, right? That's what a firewall is for. It acts just like a security guard, protecting the whole network from anyone who's not supposed to be there and keeping all your information safe. Every single device on a network, whether it's a computer, a phone, even a printer, it needs an address. This is called an IP address. It's a completely unique number, just like the address of your house, so that data knows exactly where it's supposed to go. Now, let's be honest, remembering a long string of numbers for an IP address is, well, it's pretty hard for us humans. We prefer names, like Google.com. The Domain Name System, or DNS, works like a giant phone book for the internet. It translates the website name that we can read into the IP address number that a computer can read. And the whole process is actually pretty simple. First, you type in a website name. Second, the DNS looks up that name and finds the matching IP address. And third, your computer uses that address to connect. And the amazing part? All of this happens in the blink of an eye. It's incredibly fast. So a lot of us connect to networks without using any cables at all, right? This is called Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi basically uses radio waves to connect your devices to a network and to the internet. It's super convenient because you don't have to be plugged into a wire all the time. Networks also come in different sizes. A LAN, which stands for Local Area Network, is small. It connects computers in just one building, like in your home or at a school. But a WAN, a Wide Area Network, is much, much bigger. It can cover a whole city or even an entire country. In fact, the internet is the biggest WAN in the world. Okay, so we've talked about the operating system, the boss of one computer, and we've talked about the network, which connects many computers. So why does it matter to know about both of these things? Well, it matters because they are a team. They absolutely have to work together perfectly. Your operating system is what runs your web browser application, and the network is what connects that browser to the internet so you can actually see websites. One simply can't work online without the other. So let's just quickly go over the main things to remember. First, the operating system, or OS, is the boss of your computer. Second, a network is what connects computers so they can talk and share information. And third, important tools like routers, firewalls, and DNS are what help that network run correctly and keep you safe. Before we finish up, I want to leave you with one final thought. As you go about the rest of your day, just think about this question. How did an OS and a network help you today? Maybe you checked an email, or you watched a video, or you talked with a friend online. You'll start to see that they're a huge part of almost everything we do.